Alrighty, gonna post the link now, but welcome to Melee and More, everybody. I am Acid,
And I'm Dalbull.
and this is the weekly talk show where we discuss Melee and more with different people around Indiana Melee. Today we do have a special 2-hour episode for you. We're gonna be interviewing each other. I've actually been really excited for this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think we talked about this, a few weeks ago now?
Yeah, I think it was, like 3 weeks ago now.
Alright,
Uh,
cool. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting everything together. Hello, Icelink. Cool. I was setting up the cameras and everything, and so it was just a blank screen of everything. I did get the fresh cut, thank you. But yeah, as I was saying, now that everything is set up, we have a special Melee and More. So it's going to be 2 hours long. We're going to do a Melee section and then a More section. So each one's going to be an hour. We're going to start with 30 minutes of questions for me, and then 30 minutes of questions for Dalton, and then the same thing for the More section. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Code's Acid 812.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Something I rarely see people discuss within the tier list is how it changes from top level to something like only noobs level. Being the Iron Man fiend you are and having an understanding of so many characters, how do you feel like the tier list changes as the level of play does?
So I think the point of a tier list, right, is something that dictates from every level. So I think that like people that are like, oh, like Sheik's really good at low level. Yeah, but I think like the character doesn't move up or down the tier list, right? I think every character is just really good, essentially.
Okay.
So like even at the high level, the low level, it doesn't really matter. You're always gonna
Okay.
have like the same tools.
Right. So do you think it's like a kind of like a pointless complaint to say like Sheik dominates low level then?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I think that she's very good at low level, and obviously like characters have certain strengths and weaknesses that are harder to practice or whatever. But I think that that doesn't inherently move a character up and down a tier list or like make them significantly better than the other. I think that character is just that good.
Okay. Uh, yeah. So do you think like the way like for example is Sheik? Do you think that because Sheik like performs well at low level that makes her a better character? Like overall, like do you think that's something that's calculated in the tier list already then?
Yeah, a little bit. I think that like a tier list is kind of a like this character's overall strengths and weaknesses at like all of her performances is what a
Okay.
tier list is.
Right.
It's like a theoretical like how good is this character, right?
Yeah.
And I think that that takes into account everything.
Makes sense to me. Um, since you've started playing the game, what are your favorite developments in the meta, like in terms of matchups, character developments, new tech, things like that?
I've loved watching like essentially. I think I don't like the mid tier renaissance, but and that's coming from somebody who loves mid tiers. But I've loved watching like different characters at the top level, or like top tier rather, um,
Sure.
develop their own like unique answers to otherwise problematic matchups.
Mm,
It's like Falcon Puff, presumably impossible, now seems like
right.
a pretty decent matchup, right?
Yeah. Yeah, especially with Wizzy making H-Box mauled.
Right, yeah, exactly. And like Sheik Fox seeming near impossible, and it's now like, oh, it's not that bad. Marth Fox
Mm,
is like, oh, this is the worst matchup in the game, to like, damn, this is like doable. And it's like just watching the character innovation there is just so fun to watch.
mm,
My favorite of those is probably, I really like Falco Puff. It's like, oh, if you
okay.
play Falco, just pick up Fox for Puff. It's not worth it. But like, it's actually pretty good for Falco, and like not like great, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's doable at least.
Yeah,
Like a good player can get it done.
yeah.
Uh, are
So
there any?
isolate. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're fine.
um, said what's a mid-tier renaissance if tiers don't matter? Tiers, like overall, don't mean a character is good or bad, but like the overall skill level of a character is like what their tier is.
Mm,
So it's not
okay.
that tiers don't exist. It's
You think people like value them too much? Is
yeah,
what you're saying?
yeah.
Okay, I can get behind that. You're one of the most consistent faces in the Indiana Melee scene, having attended far more tournaments than anyone else in the top 50 by coin. Uh, what does the local scene mean to you, and what makes ours so special?
uh, so I thought that might have changed by now, but that's cool that I've attended the most of the tournaments around that. But I think that like a local scene really is just whatever you might consider that be, and I just so happen to think
Mm,
of like Indiana as a state as my local scene. Like
okay.
residing in Indianapolis, obviously my fellas, right? But you know, I'll drive 2.5 hours round trip, 5 hours round trip sometimes just to go to like a local in Northwest Indiana. um,
Vouch.
yeah, like it's just those are people that I care about and I love to see, and I think that I get a lot out of the game just by traveling to my local scene that happens to be 5 hours away.
Yeah. Um, ooh,
Ooh, nice
I
let off.
didn't like that. Thank you.
Huh?
Um,
No.
yeah, actually,
Hello,
I was
Torb.
looking at the I was looking at the coin at work today just to double check it, and honestly, like, if you stopped attending for another 6 months, you'd probably still have it.
That's kind of sick. And honestly, like that goes like I think anyone could do that. Like it's just or like
Right.
yeah. I just happen to have done that. Ooh, nice. Ooh, you're slick. Might be dead. You're not dead. Uh huh. Oh, okay. Not quite. No.
So,
You're so sick.
yeah,
But
I'll be
yeah.
out there.
I
Chris has never agreed with Acid Mason more. I don't know exactly what he said. I think it was
probably something about tears or like
yeah,
people are
I
worrying
think
about
it
it
was
too
about
much.
the, the mid tier
Yeah.
uprising.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah. There's also like the reverse of that where it's like people worry about like oh like Fox is the best character in the game. My character can never beat Fox, and they use it to complain like that, right?
right.
Fox is not that good. Fox dies
Whoa,
so
take it easy.
much.
Actually, no. Keep talking.
Like, why'd you just take 96? Like, that's
my,
fucked up.
my life is so hard.
That's fucked up that my character can just do that. Like, what is that? Like, it's
I think
just
that is like one of the beautiful things about Melee is that like the best character in the game is like one of the most comboable.
yeah, yeah.
Like
I think that makes it very healthy.
but damn does it
Um,
feel bad sometimes.
I get that. Yeah, and it's like, Um, that being said, Bowser cannot win a major.
Yeah, that's real, actually. Unless it's on PX.
I'm so sorry, MPX. Bowser can still not win a major.
So, infamously, your APM has been a little bit lower than that of people around your skill level.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, true.
this isn't necessarily a bad thing, right? But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what do you think it is about your gameplay that results in that? Like how do you approach the
Yeah.
game that differently?
So I think I like to play like a always soft approaching gameplay style where it's like
Okay.
I'm a little aggressive, but like not in a way that's hyper committal or I need like fast options to get out or like in and out of situations.
Right.
Um, and then, uh, because of that, um, I end up just like, you know, pressing a couple buttons here or there. It's I've started to get a little faster by like as I've needed to, like oh my god, dude, talking's hard.
Oh.
That was supposed to be not that.
It was. I'm glad it didn't end well because I didn't want to be clipped and put on Twitter.
But that's kind of stuff I'm talking about, right? Like that clip, I think I pressed like maybe 9 buttons.
Sometimes that's all you need.
That's yeah,
I
that's
think.
yeah. I think I have like a very player read aggressive style where like I try
Mm,
to um like read and react to the person that I'm playing rather than like, oh, I'm playing a fox. Um,
okay, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and because of that, I don't really press a lot of buttons. I'm a thinker. I'm a screen watcher.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you think like Sheik's dash dance has anything to do with that? Like, because I think my APM's kind of high, but I think a lot of that is just because I'm just dash dancing in the corner, just like racking up numbers. I think
Possibly, I think it's like bad, but again, that's another thing that like I think it's not as bad as like some people make it out to be. You see like other top sheiks like utilize her dash dance to get like perfectly spaced tilts or anything
sure.
like that.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Do you think like is there like a number you want to reach, or do you think it's not something you
Super,
focus
yeah,
on?
super arbitrary metric.
Yeah, fair enough.
That was some silly interaction.
um,
uh, yeah. If you
for
ASDI,
literally,
go ahead.
oh,
I was just reading
please.
some chat.
Okay, cool. Um, as long as I've even known that competitive melee has existed, you've been running larger scale tournaments alongside Blitz than I've ever put on. Um, we
Sure.
had the most recent iteration of your first tourney last year, with maybe some hints of another one coming in the future. How has the regional experience from top to bottom changed since we need some space one?
Yeah. So essentially, when we started, we were like, oh, let's maybe get like, what, 20 people? We got 64. That was
I
crazy.
was
um, and then from there, we were like, hey, let's go for, I don't know, 70, 80 in the second year. From there, we got 136, 141, no, 136. Um, yeah, so I think like just seeing that growth happen that quickly, especially when we weren't
right.
expecting either of them, was something that neither of us will ever forget. Like it was just a really cool experience to see that happen.
Yeah.
And then from there, we were like, fuck it, let's make it a major. Bad idea. I think we have the skill and resources necessary to run a major. I don't
Okay.
think we have the drive.
Mm,
I think that we didn't have the time to produce the marketing. Ooh, nice back there. Anything on that level to actually make that happen.
okay.
But
Um,
even with that mindset, we ended up increasing by 5. So we went from 136 to 141, which was also cool. So all that to say, all these events were nothing that we expected them to be. um,
okay.
but I think that throughout the years, we have grown to love and respect every part of We Need Some Space, and it's been a joy working with Freeman.
Yeah.
The biggest differences were, um, what we can do. In the first one, we ran draft crews, and it ran really fucking well, and it was a lot of fun. The second one, we did state cruise, and it didn't go so well just because we didn't have the time for it. You
Mm,
you get an increase of roughly 80, and all of a sudden, you don't have as much time.
right.
So like even we started dubs like an hour earlier, and that did not matter. Like ooh, good attempt.
Had to go for it.
Yeah, but yeah. So it's just kind of figuring out the kinks and deciding like, oh, this is what we can do, this is what we can't.
Right. Um, how do you think commentating has changed since you started?
Yeah. So as a commentary listener, like not enjoyer, I really enjoy doing commentary. I kind of treat it just like being a goofy little guy with someone. Like you kind of just hang out, and I think that makes it a lot of fun. I think that commentary is a skill you can get better at, and I think that's something we have seen. Like there are dedicated casters that love the craft. They actively want to
Right.
get better, and they do. Um, and I think that's something that wasn't necessarily the case a little bit ago.
Mm, what
So,
do you mean by that?
so like, when I started, essentially, like, you applied for commentary at majors, but like even big regionals, they ended up uh, oh, does anyone want to get on the mic? Oh, does anyone like? No one really cared. Like, maybe you had one person, but like, I don't know, it was never a big deal. And now you have
Sure.
people, like SSB Seal, right? He applies to every commentary he can. He always is
Yeah.
looking to get on the mic, and he's really trained his craft and gotten a lot better at it.
Yeah, absolutely. I see him in like the Melee Stats Discord. Like after a block, he'll like ask people what they thought he could do better.
Right, exactly.
Do you have any favorite major commentators or commentators?
Yeah, kind of. So I love Lovage.
Okay.
Um, I think homemade waffles is really funny. Just like he kind of has the same commentary style that I have, where it's like you kind of just hang out,
Sure.
and I think that's a lot of fun to listen to. Actually, not a big fan of Bobby Scar. I know that's like blasphemous to say. I think they have done so much great for the community, and I love them. But like, I just their commentary is like okay, it's fine.
Uh,
um,
I used to be a really big fan, but like Scar with coming out of the old man's home to commentate people he doesn't know is getting a little tough.
sure. Well, I think a big part of it is like, I just don't know if enjoy the like, oh my god, did you see that? Like the high energy, high volume.
Really?
Yeah, it's just no, I'm a pretty laid back, chill guy. So
I've never known that about you.
so true. Oh, that's fucked.
Oh, that's tough.
There might be footage of Balagai commentating at Big House Top or Big House 8. Big House Top 8 would have been hot, but yeah, but it's just cool to see every part of Melee grow.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, if you were to stop playing Melee today, what would you want the scene to remember you for?
Uh, shit. That's hard because like I don't know if I would want to be remembered, but
Okay.
um,
You don't get that choice.
um, I would say maybe just like I want people to be like, oh, like he was really interested in helping like people learn about the game or like actively putting time back into his community. I think that's the biggest part that I really want to do for people. It's less about the game and more about like I want to make an impact, like help
Yeah,
somebody
absolutely.
out.
The down airs.
It's so good, especially on this stage.
Yeah, speaking of, you have a lot of interesting stage opinions. Uh, I'm gonna give you a platform to speak on them where like no one can stop you. You're like you're a voice and they're just the chat.
I am I am God. I go from I want to help my community to I am God. You will listen to me. Um yeah, so like stages aren't real and if they were, Sheik would win all of them. Like
Okay.
um every badge stage she has is like not like stadium you have a lot of like no impact land like regrab shit on platform that makes her punish game fucking insane on that stage. And then
Hmm.
on FD you basically get dash attack times 8 into any kill move and like that's just kind of true. You have to mix up like which dash attack you do because you can do like early or late timings, but the punish game here
Okay.
is fucking disgusting. And I think that neutral is going to be bad on any stage,
Mm.
but I think that just opening up her punish the way that this stage does is nasty. Uh,
You like
let's see.
Yoshi's too.
Oh, Yoshi. So recently, I have two. So specifically talking about Fox right now, but
Right.
I've had two Fox sets recently where I win game one, I lose game two on Stadium.
Hmm.
I lose game three on Fountain, which I'm supposed to like, but I don't because I'm bad. And then counterpick game four to Yoshi's, and then win Yoshi's, and then win game five.
Dang.
So it's like I think Yoshi's is very good.
I will say like you you have some whack stage opinions, but like the way you play backs them up really well. Like the when you say like she does better on FT than Pokemon Stadium, it's like
Mm-hmm.
that's like something I've felt like playing you specifically. Like maybe not so much other sheets, but
Sure. Yeah, and it very well might be a me specific thing because like I think I probably used to hate FD and I was like, this stage is bad and it makes me sad. And so I just played on that stage for like days. I remember one session specifically was me and old time Indianapolis Marth player Snarf. We played like 8 hours straight on FD on Joe Eisling's couch, and then just like went
nice.
home. Like I was like, hey, I really want to grind this matchup on this stage. Can we just like sit here and play? And he's like, yeah. And we just played for hours.
Nice.
So part of that might be why I have some whack stage opinions. But I truly think it's what I like in my experience. That's what I feel.
Interesting. Yeah, you make me feel it, and that's what's really important.
Right? Yeah. I think as long as like I can, like, I think that at the end of the day, my stage opinions and everything are just like what I have found through my own gameplay. Also, thank you so much for Havoc Valor for rating. Very sweet of you. I hope Full Dive went well.
Mm. Yeah, it's cool to have a net play weekly, even though I think it's like fine that online weeklies don't count towards rankings. I think that's probably right.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important to have like a weekly like that that connects the regions a bit.
I agree.
Uh,
And especially since it has like its own rankings.
oh, does it?
Yep.
That's cool. I haven't looked into it so much because I like work during it, so I can't ever go to it. But that's really cool.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool touch.
Yeah.
Havoc Valor says I was in Grants. Congrats.
Nice.
And also, did they talk about how good Mason's commentary was? I don't even know if it was good, but I appreciate that.
What was your first tournament?
Ooh, okay. um, First tournament. I went to spectate Full Bloom 3 in 2017 because my friend lived in Bloomington and they were all hanging out there, and I was like, "Oh, cool, yeah, I'm down."
Nice.
Oh, that sucked. I wanted to be like, "See, FT's cool." But so after Full Bloom 3, none of us entered, and we were like, "Hey, like, what if we entered? Like, what if we played the game?" So we looked up tournaments and found Bad Moon Rising 2.
Okay. Where was that at?
That was in North Carolina.
Oh.
So my first tournament was a 22-hour round trip drive to a regional after like never playing this video game.
You're insane.
I quickly went 0-2 and just like played friendlies the entire time. It was so much fun. I got to see PP return. I didn't know who the fuck PP was, but that was cool. Like everyone was like, "Yeah, like this dude came back." I was like, "Where'd he go? Like the grocery store?" Like I don't like I don't fucking know, dude. But it was really sick to see the energy in that venue.
Mm.
I quickly became a Money Mike fan.
Okay.
He quickly retired, like after that like not after that tournament, but pretty soon after. But he was such a sick Falcon. He did a lot of first hit nairs. I don't know. He was fun.
I get it.
Let's see. Yeah, so that was my first tournament. My first Indiana tournament was a Southside Showdown.
Okay.
So went to Bad Moon Rising, and then we and I'm a dirty setup spammer. I only laughed because I saw your face. You went like, ugh.
I hate getting hit by your confirms into up smash.
Oh, it's so fun.
You're always good for one on that.
Yeah. But yeah, so Southside Showdown I went to with Blitz. Ended up playing a longtime Indianapolis player ETP. That was the beginning of my reign of dominance. To be fair, Pete was also a relatively new player. Oh my fucking god, that angle. But I ended up getting double eliminated by Blitz at that tournament. Oh my god, that angle!
Double eliminated by Blitz. What place did you get?
4th.
Dang.
Yeah, I was like, oh, let's go. To be fair, I think it was a 12-man tournament, but like, it was pretty cool to get 4th at like my first like tournament that isn't one full of good players or like,
Right.
yeah.
Years.
Yeah. I know Freeman actually ended up getting 2nd at that tournament. Ended up beating MPX Game 5 because they agreed to gentlemen to a Falcon Ditto Game 1. And Freeman won that. I remember him telling me in the car home, he was like, I would have lost that set had we played our actual characters. Game 1.
Hey, you know what? We take those.
That's right. But Dad Milk famously won that tournament without dropping a game.
Dang.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my first introduction to Indiana Melee, and it was a lot of fun. After that, I stopped entering for like 6 months, and I started officially grinding Melee in 2018 at Sheik and Destroy 4 in Evansville.
Oh wow. Dang.
So yeah, my beginning was a little fucked up. It was a little spread apart, but it was fun.
Yeah, mine was a little similar actually. My second tournament was Evansville, and my first was Full Bloom 4. So
Nice.
Full Bloom starters.
That's right.
What?
Ooh. We can.
Oh yeah, no. I actually had one more. I forgot what it was
Yeah.
for a second, but I got it now. Tell me a bit about Dad's house.
Dad's house is the best thing, the best worst thing you've almost never heard of.
Okay.
um,
I follow.
essentially, um, so imagine like a carousel, right? Or like anything that rotates. That is constantly all of our brains. It is like I don't even. It is literally just where I've met a group of my best friends ever. It was a tournament in Greenwood, Indiana. We basically were all kind of shitters. We had the occasional Dalith, Blogai, Nooch, even sometimes Plus, and then like the fabled Ice Link would occasionally show up. Unfortunately, he had a bedtime. But yeah, so like we were all just kind of this group of people who were bad at the game together, and it was really fun learning and growing with them. And we still are like to this day playing Melee with each other. At this point in time, Dad's house is more of a RuneScape Discord. But we still love Melee. We still play it with each other, especially people like Blagai and Blitz. They are starting to get back into the game even more. I know Dad Milk just signed up for Full Bloom,
Huge.
which I think is pretty cool.
I haven't seen Dad Milk since the legendary Game 10 Grands. It's outside.
Oh, the Simon Grands. Yeah. I wasn't ready for that question. Oh no, I'm getting emotional on stream. This is fucked up.
Not bad.
No, I think it's so sick. Yeah. But yeah, it's basically my home. It's Dad's house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we will go ahead and switch over to, I guess we'll call this last game, but like, I guess I don't know what that means.
Yeah, last game before we played more games.
Ooh, you didn't uppy?
Gotta keep it fresh and exciting. Oh yeah.
I fucked it up! Ah! No! All right, that's the best I'm gonna get.
Reverse mains Dalton Sheik.
Okay, I'm running it. Let's go.
Green dragon.
All right. So the green crack coming out would fulfill my night. Okay.
Acid Fox for real, one of my favorite foxes.
So we
I
are
think
gonna.
I spent
Oh, go ahead.
I think I spent a good amount of at the Acid Fox lifespan trying to subtly get you off of it.
What do you mean? That's fucked up.
I just want to see you succeed, man.
Hey, my fox. Hey, my fox has a Latin win and it has a Dow win.
My fox doesn't have those.
Your fox has a Latin win and a Dow win.
No.
Ooh,
I mean, Dow Pikachu, but
that's real.
that was like
No, that's real.
that was
Her
like,
Pikachu's
like
cracked.
month 1.
Okay.
It wasn't quite where it is now.
But yeah. We will go ahead and move on to the Dalbull melee section. Full Dive was a movie. So TOing, right?
Yeah.
What does TOing mean to you? Yeah, basically, yeah. What does TOing mean to you? Like, what? Why did you get into it? Why are you still doing it?
Yeah. So I first got into TOing. I think it was House of Blues 1. Ethan asked me to like help him run it because I didn't get into melee, or at least into the Indiana scene until COVID had hit. So my first LAN tournament, I think, after COVID was House of Blues 1.
Oh shit. Okay.
So I think I helped Ethan run that, and then when we finally had locals come back, he asked me to help him with that. And I really found that I liked seeding, and
Excuse me.
I don't know. I'm the master of the bracket.
Okay. I like
I'm
that
the guy who
idea,
holds
but
the
I think
keys.
that's some psychopath.
But we ran Crown for a while and really loved just running it with Ethan. We had a good time. You know, I always got to see my homies every week. It was just a place we could hang out. And I think I just really needed that at that point, especially post-COVID when we hadn't seen each other in so long.
Sure.
But then Ethan moved to Terre Haute, and then I became the sole TO of Crown. And I think a lot of what it means to me now is like look at someone like Mac Daddy who can make it to Crown, but like he struggles to get to other tournaments in Indiana, and he is an Indiana player despite what,
Yeah. Like being an Indiana
I'll-
player doesn't have to do with your geographical location.
Yeah.
It's you are an Indiana player.
he is one of the most Indiana players Indiana has, and
Yeah.
anyone who disagrees with that can see me outside. But like someone like him, you know, I want to see him like do well. I want to see him like rise the PR because I know he can do it. And it's like if he doesn't have a place where he can go to a tournament every week and get the wins he needs to make it, like I think it's important to me that I provide a space for people like that to do that.
Sure. That checks out. So piggybacking on like your start a little bit, you talked about TO pairings.
Yeah.
Is that just like Indiana TOs always having that one person?
Yeah. So
Okay.
there's me, Ethan, there's you, Blitz, there's Diego, Conrad, and I think to a lesser extent there's Pete, Jalen, though I kind of consider them their own thing now.
Sure, they've kind of broken apart, but even at their start, like Pete Jalen was that was definitely a thing.
Yeah, and I thought it was just funny, like in every one of those pairings, there's like a face and the behind the scenes guy.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. There's the person that hates doing the behind the scenes stuff, and the person that hates talking.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just funny that so many of our scenes have that dynamic with the TOs.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good dynamic because it's like it really uh grounds the like or like helps the other person kind of break out of their shell. Like
Yeah,
it helps me learn about like the intricacies of like what it means to do like the finances, the scheduling, the booking, like everything about that. I don't know shit. I just let Freeman do that.
right.
And then I feel
It's like,
like it lets me or lets him like break out of his shell a little bit. So.
yeah, absolutely. Like, I wouldn't know half the people I know in Indiana like as intimately as I do if I didn't have like Ethan in their DMs every week trying to get them to turn our tournaments.
That makes sense.
Uh, I think it's interesting the because each person like feels like the other person is doing them like a great service by doing like the other half
Right.
of the work.
Yeah.
But it's like we're both just doing our thing and enjoying it.
I like that mindset. That's good. So I didn't like super know what you meant by TO pairings, but like I agree.
Yeah, it's just I've been giggling about it a bit lately.
Just seeing like all of that, yeah, and like it just keeps happening.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite TO pairing that isn't one that you've mentioned? Like you have to think of one now.
Ooh. Uh,
And it could be just like a made up
Oval
one. Like it could
tenacity.
be like, oh, Oval Tenacity is actually such a good one. Holy shit. Okay.
I get the
Um,
benefit of like it's the same distance for me as Purdue, so they're also my second scene sometimes.
sure. Ooh. Uh, Indiana TO pairs round robin. In doubles, beef and cheese farms. I I wish it didn't,
I don't know.
but
I think
uh, yeah. What are your goals with TOing?
my goals with TOing. I think ah
Definitely just ran off
tough one.
stage thinking I was the Sheik, and I was like, why would I ever play Green Sheik? No
You
offense.
don't like green cheese?
It's fine. It's just like in my head, Green Sheik is a lot better at things. I
Oh, okay, I see.
yeah. I don't do a
I
lot
get
of
where you're coming.
things.
Uh, yeah,
Ooh,
I guess I can see that. I like hate Fox's green color, but I love all his other colors. But back to my TOing goals.
yeah.
I think someday I would love to have a regional.
Oh,
Something like we need some space, you know. Um, that's obviously not something I can do right now for just a variety of reasons. But it's something like I recently had like a call with Kevin Tenacity,
yeah.
just to get like a little bit more info on like how out of the blue runs and just to better understand it so that one day I could work towards it. But aside from that, my everyday goal is just give my friends someplace to play and have fun. And I get to see them every week.
That
What
is
else could I want?
another really cool aspect of TOing. It's like you're basically just like, especially a local, something I could never do. By the way, you are so much stronger than I am.
So,
Oh,
I was
but yeah, it's like you're basically just like, hey friends, do you want to hang out and like beat each other up for a while? And it's just
yeah,
a really cool interaction. But as for a regional, I think a Dalbull regional would go fucking insane, and I would love to help with that.
I would love to have your help with that, honestly. Definitely something in the distant future.
What are
Uh,
the setbacks?
I think for me, like financials, like I think you need like a good amount of money up front. I just don't have saved right now. And then like things like finding a venue. I don't really feel like I'm super into melee right now, so like I gotta wait for the passion to come back a little bit.
That makes sense.
What's
I actually recently, I feel like I've talked to you about this a little bit, but like definitely didn't have a melee drive, and then all of a sudden one day I was like, wait, what if I like melee again?
yeah, yeah. And it's
So
like I know it'll happen. I'm
yeah,
just waiting for it.
yeah, I get that. So yeah, like a big roadblock is money, but then there's also like just drive. Something that Freeman and I like looked at. So a big reason why we need some space was 3 was hard is like we again tried to make it a little bit more like a major, and
Mm,
that cost a lot more money.
right.
So in the past, I actually was pretty comfortable being like the sole like payment person, and like Freeman always offered, but like I was like, I'm losing like $50. I don't really care. I was losing like 100. Like it was fine. It was like not a loss I could always take, but like I didn't. If I had to lose that, that's fine. Um, this past one, we lost a lot of money, and I won't go into specifics because I'm not like, hey, like don't like woe is us. Like we're, but
Sure.
yeah, it was hard.
Ooh, that's not shining
Oh,
anymore.
but we were going over finances for our next one, and I think that you can run a regional for not that much money. So that's something we could also discuss if you wanted it to be
Yeah,
sooner rather
absolutely.
than later.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about it.
um, but yeah. So moving on a little bit, going over the subregions of Indiana.
Yeah.
Um, what exactly do you mean when you are talking about subregions of Indiana? Is it like the active regions or like
Yeah, I mean
yeah.
like NWI, Purdue, Indy.
Okay. What do you
Uh,
think? Go ahead.
oh no, good.
What do you think good travel numbers are, and like what would you like to see from each of the regions?
Um, so I think a lot of regions are like closer to one region in particular than most other regions. Like NWI and Purdue are pretty close. I think uh, Fort Wayne and South Bend are pretty close, and then like Bloomington and Indy are like geographically pretty close. And I think, especially between them, I think we should be seeing like at the very least a car every other week.
Okay,
For, like in an ideal world at least.
sure.
Um, and then like maybe once every 2 months, like a car that gets to a further one. I think that's like a healthy amount of travel. Um, I think the issue we have right now with that is that it's usually the same people carrying travel. And like I get a lot of people, they have they have lives outside of Melee. They don't want to always be traveling so far, but I think there's a lot of pressure on the people who travel now to keep traveling. Um,
Sure. Oh, you're beast. Green crack, please. Okay, we're fine. And I can see that. I think we see a lot of the usual suspects traveling, right? And I agree with you. I
right.
would like to see a little more travel. Specifically, like I know Fort Wayne just reopened up Fort Land, and it would be really cool to
Yeah.
see some more travel out to that. I know some people can't do that, but
Yeah.
if you can, go out to Fort Land.
Yeah. Absolutely. Especially I can't make it. I have to work that day.
Yeah,
The NWI peeps. It's not that far. It's like a half hour longer than a Purdue drive.
right. And like, sure, the numbers like it's like 23 or 24 right now, but that is one
Yeah.
of the most stacked 23 or
Yeah.
24 I've ever seen.
Yeah, HBR, Toast, Prince of Boo. I think is Coffee registered?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Latin's
that's
registered.
four top 100 level, uh, at least top 200 level players.
Right. Um, and yeah, like that's something you're talking about. Like maybe once every 2 months you get more, and part of that can be like for these bigger regionals.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I think, uh, especially the last couple of years, we've had a healthy amount of them.
Yeah. That was some chic ass fox shit. um, I get dialed into these fucking reverse main friendlies. But yeah.
Yeah, and I just, I don't know. It's like people have their own things going on. I just, in my perfect world, there'd be more of it.
Okay. What are some ideas you have to fix or incentivize travel?
That's a good question.
Hmm.
I feel like lately, maybe something it's something I gotta deal with personally. I feel like there's been a lot of onus on TOs lately to make their events as good as possible to attract people. Um, I think like you should make your event as good as possible, and like I would never want to run a subpar event. But I think we're hosting a video game tournament, largely at a loss.
Right.
Just go to the tournament sometimes.
No, I agree with that. It's like support your friends. Like
Yeah,
I think at the end of the day
like
we are all
your friends
friends.
are there. Go.
Right, yeah. I love the shines.
Yeah, I'm panicking.
Uh, but yeah, I think I like that. I like that your idea to fix travel is like have people hang out with their friends. Like that is the answer. And I think
It's
that's a
like
pretty good one. Yeah.
I've traveled a good amount in my day. I finally after Kilroy, I got
Oh, that's
every
every
every sub
region.
region in India, every
L-
region in Indiana,
Let's
post
go.
COVID. So like I can say this shit because I'm doing it. Uh,
Yeah, that's like you are basically soft calling out because you are one of the travelers. Like you are constantly, you know, you basically have to pay or like Joe Iceling pays for your sins by sitting at home, right? And not using his melee and more dollar.
yeah, I hate Joe Isley specifically.
But yeah, I do hope that traveling becomes more normal. Obviously, I'm not asking people like people aren't the psychopaths that we are, Dalton.
Yeah, like
They're not gonna be
you don't
like,
have to
"Oh, I
uproot your
worked
life.
today. Yeah, I'm gonna make this 5-hour drive real quick." But like,
Right.
you know, come support the people. Ooh, okay. So what was your first tourney? Pretend like you.
I didn't.
uh,
The first tourney I went to was Full Bloom 4 actually, now that I'm remembering it correctly. Ethan and I went. I was going to Franklin at the time, and Ethan's mom wouldn't let him drive. So I went back to Mott the night before, and then we drove to Bloomington day of. I went 0-2. I played my first set over ever was Jeff Stanislaw or Miles.
oh yeah, yeah. Miles, known tennis guy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We talked about tennis before, but yeah,
and Puff Hater.
yeah, real. That's
Um,
just real.
yeah, I played Peach then.
Okay,
Um,
is that
I
your starting character?
yeah, that was my first character was Peach.
Oh shit. Okay,
Um,
Dalbull lore.
yeah, Yeah, that was back in the days when I didn't have a setup and Ethan did, so I would go to his house like 3 times a week. And we didn't know where the scene was, so we just grinded in his room alone.
That's so
Uh,
sick. Holy shit.
but we went to that. Ethan didn't actually enter. He just came to spectate.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as we walked in, I met Mango. We got a picture, and that is my Start GG profile pic
To this day.
to this day.
That's so sick, dude.
I took it on Snapchat. It was really blurry. Mango goes, I think he saw it was blurry. He goes, "Did you get it?" And I go, "Yep." He goes, "You sure?" I go, "Yep." He goes, "Cool, man."
Okay.
Walked
Is that
away.
cool? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. Um. Yeah. That's. I love like good first tourney stories, especially something like that.
Yeah, yeah, I was just super nervous. Ethan wouldn't go up to talk to Axe because he was being a little baby about it. So I went up to Axe and I said, "Hey, my friend's a huge fan." Um,
I get being afraid of Axe.
yeah, he's an intimidating guy.
Um, what what is your biggest success in Melee, and what is your biggest failure, and how did you go about both?
Biggest success. Hmm, it's a tough one. I don't have like a lot of successes that I'm like super proud of yet. Um, I think
It doesn't
the
even have to
first
be
time,
anything massive. Yeah, like
yeah, the first time I beat Rocco felt like a big achievement for me because my first tournament back is when I played like 4 tournaments, and then I kind of stopped playing Melee for a year and a half. So I consider myself more of a Slippy kid. But my first tournament back was the Yard Online,
okay.
and I played Rocco there, and I was Jashik at the time, and
Yes.
Rocco was much worse against Sheik at the time. So it was probably closer than it should have been. But Ethan told me that they were good after that, and
Felt pretty good
after
about
that
that one.
I really wanted to hunt that win because even after that there was if you look at our PG stats like and probably our first 5 sets I took a game.
Oh no.
Uh,
It's always like we'll actually get back to that in a second. But yeah, taking a game is like it feels good, but it's like it could feel better.
Yeah, and then they tightened up the Sheik matchup, and I had to stop going to that well. Um, and the only reason I kept the Sheik around so long was because I was so terrible at the Marth matchup. But I finally eventually got kind of okay at it, and
Yeah,
I
I
finally got
mean,
my Rocco win.
yeah, you got Rocco, Olivia. I think a couple Olivia wins.
Yeah, I do have I think 2 of those now. Biggest failure.
And this doesn't have to get
Ooh.
too like.
I went 0-2 at Big House. That one felt
Which
pretty bad.
big house?
It was last year.
Okay,
Yeah, I think that's the only Big House I've been to.
sure.
Yeah, it is.
We will go ahead and call this last game.
Okay.
But yeah, that's I feel like going 0-2 is a pretty good failure to have. Like there are worse things you can do than lose a couple of sets in Melee.
I mean, we could talk about my 0-40 record against Mac Daddy too.
um, so on successes and failures, you were invited into the Indiana Melee Summit 2,
Oh, that did happen.
at which you didn't take a set, but you did take a game from every player you played.
Yeah,
Um,
that's pretty really good.
I was about to say, do you consider that a success or a failure, and why?
Um, I think I think at the time I was going through a lot of changes as a player. Like, I think my play style is a lot different now than it used to be, in like a lot of little aspects. Um, but I think of that tourney, a lot of stuff came together for me in
Okay.
a way it hadn't before. So like if anyone goes back and watches my set with Ender, like I got 3-1, but damn, I made it look respectable, and that's not an easy player to make it look
No,
respectable
no, it is
against.
not. Yeah.
Uh, I think I was a little disappointed not to get a win in like Gauntlet.
Sure.
Um, and I think I wanted to do better against Abe because I feel kind of comfortable in the Luigi matchup, more so than I think a lot of foxes my level are.
Sure.
But overall, I was really encouraged by that tournament.
Yeah, I think you played sick as fuck. Especially watching you play against Christian was actually very cool. And I think you did like very well considering.
Thank
Um, so if melee is a journey, are you able to tell when it's over? Like, do you know when the journey is over?
you. I guess I'll tell you when I get there.
I like that. Yeah, it's a good answer. I Do you see it being a lifetime thing? Like, even if you stop entering tournaments, do you think melee will be a part of you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, um, I think it plays a very similar role into my life that like sports did when I was younger. It's like I still really like the sports I played, um,
Sure.
and I think I still watch like my favorite team play. I still like thinking about it. And every once in a while, I'll go to a field and kick a ball around. I think when I'm done with melee, I'll have a relationship with it more like that.
Cool.
And honestly, that sounds pretty nice.
Wait, I think I just might have soft retired Dalton. He's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I'll see you guys later.
Like, no, but I like that. Okay. So we'll go ahead and move on to the more section. Again, Dalton will start by asking me questions. Did you want to do first main games? How's your peach?
It's not gonna be good, but we can do it.
Let's get it. It's the lone laser.
That's oh no. This is gonna be just like my first set.
Oh no.
Alrighty.
Oh boy. But yeah. For the more section, I've been listening to the Midnight for like an hour now. I love this band.
Oh yeah?
But yeah. Feel free, go ahead, start.
Alrighty. You are the operations and marketing manager of a chocolate company in Indy. What path led you here, and what does your average day look like?
Yeah. So essentially what happened was I was miserable at my job. Basically the work was fine, but everyone was like a little bit racist. So it was kind of
Okay.
like just not that fun to be there.
Right.
Um, so my buddy Cheddar, a Dad's House member. Oh, you're nasty. Oh, less nasty. But my buddy Cheddar, fellow Dad's House member, was like, "Hey, what if you came and worked with me?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, okay." 2 years later, I am at a chocolate company, and I honestly like it. It's cool. I just kind of my average day is working in the shop. I'll be doing a couple of different projects, packing boxes for the holidays. Basically, we're in a slower season right now, so just kind of hanging out doing
Okay.
that. At the same time, doing inventory counts, making sure everything matches with what we have in our system. If it doesn't, figuring out why. Oh, Randall. Okay. Oh,
This is where it starts.
Taunt get Taunt bodied. Ah.
Oh
Um.
no.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
But that's the second most common job archetype in Indiana. I don't know what that means, but probably. um, but yeah, so I'll be doing inventory counts. Whether it's the chocolates, whether it is like boxes, anything like that. Um, and I'll also be doing outreach. So I'll be sending emails to different companies like, hey, we're doing gifting. Holiday gifting is coming up. Make sure, use the brand fine chocolates for your gifting needs and stuff like that.
Okay.
That part isn't my favorite, but I do enjoy actually like when you can stop being a robot and actually discuss with people.
Right.
Um, so another part of what I do is work events for the brand. I've done a bourbon bling and bow ties event for Make a Wish. So we brought
Sick.
chocolates and yeah, gave it out, and we got to support the Make a Wish Foundation of Indiana.
Okay.
And it is really cool to, like actively help something that means a lot to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, that's supposed to be a wall jump.
If it would have been sick. If you could pack up and be successful in any career, what would it be?
Uh, hmm. I see. Tough question because it's like essentially there's a Shinto principle of an ikigai, and it's at the center of what you like, what you're good at, what you enjoy, and or what the world needs and what can make you money.
Hmm.
Uh, and I don't think I've found the thing that is those.
Okay, fair enough.
But because like the easy answer is like, oh, honestly, it'd be sick to like be really successful at Melee and be able to make money off of it. I think I love the game
Okay.
enough that like if I could do this, I would. Um,
Hmm.
it just isn't realistic for where I'm at in life. But
Okay.
also, it doesn't fit that principle of what the world needs, right?
I think it's what the world needs.
um, but yeah, I think at the end of the day, I would like to be able to cure terminal illnesses before they happen. Basically, is like find the genetic nature of them and figure out how we can cure them before we get
Oh,
there.
that'd be cool.
Yeah. um, yeah. So that's kind of. But the thing is, uh, the actual path to get there, I don't know if I like it.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Also
gotta
might
find
not.
that balance.
Yeah, it also might not fit the principle. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's kind of struggling with the whole life thing, but
Yeah.
we go next. Like while I'm struggling, I have people that I love and care about. So that part's pretty cool.
Yeah. Absolutely. Speaking of isekai, you're a big
Holy
fan of
shit!
anime.
Ah.
Even being a prestigious member of the Purdue Council of Weebs,
That's right.
what are some anime you like talking about?
Um, so I think at the end of the day, I just really like um anime that like kind of paint a picture of like an actual problem and like make you think about it. Um,
Okay.
so like one of my favorite of all time is Zankyo no Terror. Um, it basically and okay, so we're about to get real deep here.
I'm ready.
It basically follows two young boys who are international terrorists.
Oh,
Um, and so the way that they do it is they basically get everybody out of an area and then blow up structures that are important to their government.
Okay.
So like they don't hurt anybody, but so, like that's how they're the protagonist. But like they're breaking down a society that doesn't care for them, and obviously like the government there is like hyper corrupted to like make it easier to stomach them doing it. But like
Right.
like it's really interesting to be like, all right, well they're kind of an anti-hero, but like are they right? Like
Yeah. Yeah. Like it presents an interesting moral dilemma.
right, and I think that's the kind of show that I really like. Yeah.
And I think that
Um,
like something like anime is uniquely equipped to do it 'cause they're not like real people.
right,
You
exactly.
can
Yeah.
disconnect yourself. You can make it fantasy land and still get those messages across.
I sorry, I'm reading chat right now, and somebody is just talking about the insane segue of talking about an ikigai and calling it an isekai. um,
Came to me in a vision.
oh, it's so good, dude. Um, but yeah, MPX brings up a funny point where like I would like casually make like not a whole lot of money, but like just extra spending cash writing anime reviews.
Really?
Yeah. And that
Where can
was
I find those?
don't worry about that part. um,
I'm gonna worry about that part.
well,
You tell me
I'll
now, or
DM
I'll
you.
find it
I'll
later.
DM you. I got you.
Uh,
But yeah, other shows I like Code Geass. Um, it does get a little uh shonen anime esque for me, but the good parts are
sure.
good.
That's all you can ask for, really. Uh, what anime would you recommend someone who's never watched anime before?
Uh, hmm. I think that um, so Mob Psycho might be my favorite anime of all time right now.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah.
but like it's anime, right? I'm trying to think of an anime that is not super anime. um, honestly, I think probably some slice of life thing. Like I think that see the thing. God damn it, this is a hard question. It's like a lot of slice of life end up getting kind of sad. It's like because
Mm,
they have to deal with like drama somehow, right?
right. Yeah, which
Um,
one are you thinking about right now?
Clenad. um, but yeah, I think that maybe Mob Psycho. Maybe something like old school, like Cowboy Beep Boop.
Mm,
Just something that's a little easier to stomach before you get into the real nitty gritty. You know,
right.
I don't know how to do
Stick with
wall
some
jump
nitty
dares.
gritty. Yeah, you just gotta guess, I think.
hmm. Ooh. Oh. But yeah, anime is cool. I think it's a really neat platform, and it's been a pretty cool part of my life.
Yeah.
Um, let's
Sorry, I just
see.
have to clutch up on you real quick.
No way. First at fair.
Oh, you can't kill me with fire. That's fucked up. I'm so nervous.
No, I was trying to spam double jump into fair. um,
uh,
but
your
yeah,
sport of choice is tennis, and
yes, yeah,
you even participate in a local rec league. What about tennis specifically gets you going?
yeah. So tennis is a place where essentially you can kind of do your own thing. Like there's singles and doubles and all that. But you're still a part of a greater team, and so it's like you can only do like especially like in a high school level or like a collegiate level. Oh no. you can only do so much before you uh like it's an actual team thing. Like while you're putting in
Right.
your own effort, like there's like you actually have to like be there for your team. And I think that's a cool aspect of tennis that often gets overlooked, that
Right.
like it is a team sport even if it's like not a traditional team sport.
Right. Yeah, I guess it kind of mirrors Melee a lot of ways in that.
Yeah. Yeah, I see some melee aspects in tennis. Like there's like the inner game of melee is this book that I read.
Oh,
Um
yeah.
but
I heard it's a good book.
I think I hate you.
That's okay.
But yeah, so there's just a lot of cool aspects about it where like you can be your own person, but like still have fun and like support people that you want to hang out with. I've met a lot of my really close friends through tennis.
Yeah. Do you watch any like professional?
Yeah, the current state of the game is interesting because like there's a clear favorite, and it's like who's gonna beat him.
Mm.
So it's like a lot like the era of the Five Gods, where like I just started laughing. I'm sorry. Um,
I was taking you at face value. I wouldn't laugh at you.
um, but yeah, so like everyone's trying to beat Novak Djokovic, and he's good, dude. Like
Mm.
he is in contention for like the best tennis player of all time. And so just watching the like you can see set to set adjustments between players. And it's so sick to see that level of tennis, like at the top level, just constantly evolving.
Sure. Are there any players that are looking to do it or looking good to do it?
Yeah, so like there's a heavy hitter. His name is Medvedev, and he's pretty often a clear number two.
Okay.
He is a heavy hitter. He hits the ball a lot harder than Djokovic, and so sometimes like Djokovic just can't deal with that pace. Like
What?
his serve is often north of 130 miles an hour, whereas like Djokovic usually sees about 110.
Dang. That's fast.
Yes, it is.
And do you have a favorite?
uh, so my current favorite player is probably Alexander Zverev. He's one of the new kids. And like he just has a very fun, explosive play style. Albeit he does have a little bit of a temper. But
Okay.
not as much so as the one of the other rising stars, Nick Kyrgios. So it's cool to see like a nice mix of level-headed play and explosive play.
Okay.
Novak Djokovic is the anti-vax guy, by the way. Yeah, like he's the best player possibly ever, and also is a little bit of a piece of shit.
Cool. Um, so like, what makes one tennis player's play style like more exciting?
Um,
Like how does that come out in tennis?
yeah, I think honestly, Rocco said it best. Like the least enjoyable tennis players are the dirty setup spammers. Like it's like hitting shots that like you constantly like are forcing a position in instead of like trying to interact with your opponent.
Okay.
Um,
Like back and forth type players.
yeah, it's like you don't like obviously you want to win the points, but it's like play tennis. Like
Some people are more creative with it.
yeah, yeah, and like especially at like the lower level where like so like I do think there's a lower level in something like tennis, like where like the game changes a lot. Um,
Sure.
there's a play style called like pushing, where basically you put no pace or spin on the ball and you make your opponent do the work, and it basically feels
Ah,
like you're playing against a wall, and it's like, oh, this is not that fun.
that makes sense. I
Yeah,
wouldn't want to play against a wall.
yeah,
Uh, I
Um,
don't think I've ever seen you with alcohol that wasn't bourbon. Uh, what what are some of your
yeah.
favorite bourbons, and what makes them better than other bourbons?
Yeah. So, what I'm looking for in bourbon, as I am with most foods and drinks, is complexity. I want it.
Okay.
I want to feel the traditional burn that you feel from bourbon, but I want there to be a nice sweetness to it, maybe even a little bit of a saltiness, like just some flavor profiles that you
Mm,
um, don't necessarily get from other drinks. And a lot of like the top end bourbons get that because of how long that they are fermenting. Ooh, nice.
okay.
So my favorite bourbon I've ever tried. I went to a dive bar in Texas while visiting my sister, and um, so they had a menu for drinks, and I ordered a Old Forester Prohibition, which is their 1920 bottle,
Dang.
and I ordered that neat. And that's basically their recipe during Prohibition. So the thing I like about that is it does have a nice bite to it,
Okay.
but it does still have a nice like sugary caramely sweetness that a lot of bourbons have, and so it's like a nice
Mm,
sipping drink. Um, so after ordering that for the second round, the bartender came around and was like, "Hey, can I get you guys anything else?" I was like, "Yeah, what else do you have?" And he was like, "Honestly, I don't see a lot of 22-year-olds come in here and order Old Forester Prohibition." So, and then he brought out this little black book, which was basically their like reserve bourbon that they only like gave to special guests.
oh, that's sick.
Yeah. So I ended up getting a pour of Pappy Van Winkle 15 year. It is by far the best bourbon I've ever had. And a bottle sells for 2,500.
Okay.
So it's
That's
not easy
dang.
to get.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't imagine so.
But
What where does the peanut butter bourbon rank?
uh it's something that my friends like. So like flavored bourbon is a thing where it's like I'll drink it if it's there, but it's definitely
Sure.
not something I'm gonna buy.
Okay. Purist.
Yeah. Um Mason unlocked the secret bourbon by being goaded. I actually really like that. Yeah, but like that pour alone cost $70. So like
Jeez.
I definitely won't like normally order that even if like I had access to it, but like it was really cool to have that. Cuz like there are a lot of people like significantly older than me that still have never tried Pappy Van Winkle, and it's like the gold standard of bourbon.
Yeah.
And I got to experience that because I was like some kid who liked spicy bourbon.
You're that guy.
MPX asked me how I feel about Malort. It is one of the most disgusting things that you should try.
Speak to that.
Um, so Malort is like this shitty, like malt sewer water liquor. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's like one of the worst things I've ever put in my body, and everyone should do it. For some reason, Chicago loves Malort as like a little sidecar. Like you get a beer and then you're like, "Hey, can I get a shot of Malort with that?" And I don't know, dude. It's some freaky ass behavior. But it is it's interesting. If you're in the Midwest, you should try Malort. Oh.
I don't know how I feel about that. Um, yeah, actually, I've only really had bourbon once. I was at a bachelor party. I drank 13 shots in about an hour
Jesus,
and a half
dude. Okay.
of Knob Creek. But dang,
Knob
was it good?
Knob Creek is good.
Yeah.
Do
Like,
you see what I mean? Where like you get flavor from it, and then it also like kind of burns your chest.
yeah, I mean, I've never been a big liquor guy. I've always liked beer because I have more control over it, and I can just sip all night and not have to worry about it.
Sure.
Uh, but I will say, if I was a liquor guy, I think bourbon would be the choice. That is good.
Yeah, actually, for my birthday, my parents will always get me like a bottle of some kind of bourbon.
Okay.
Uh, um, and this past one, I got a bottle of Eagle Rare, which is a bottle that sells on the market for like $40, and you will never find it on the market. um, you will always find it resale for like 200.
Dang.
It's fucked, but it's basically just like this gold medal bourbon. It's won so many contests, and it's really fucking good. So that's what I've been drinking recently.
Okay. Uh, moving on to music. And in school, you were a percussionist.
Yeah,
Specifically, you played the marimba.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So
what did, what did band mean to you, and how have you filled that time in your life since then?
yeah. Um, so percussion, from a percussion standpoint, was one of my favorite times ever.
Okay.
My school, we had to do marching band in order to do percussion,
Mm,
and I didn't like marching band. Um, Part of it was ego posting. I just thought that we were better than the wins. um, and to an extent, at Ben Davis High School, that was true. Like our percussion, we were in like the top class of like the indoor drum line or like WGI.
that's cool. My
Whereas,
school had a sick ass drum line too.
did you play?
No, no.
Oh,
My friend did, but they did some really cool things. They were definitely the coolest of the band kids.
oh yeah, and I feel like that's true everywhere. Like the drummers are always the
Yeah,
cool guys.
yeah.
Um, but so I did percussion in high school from 8th grade or 7th grade rather to my sophomore year was my last year, and
Mm,
in that time I played uh, center marimba for one of our for like the middle drum line, and then I played
mm.
marimba 3 for our main drum line my sophomore year, which is
Okay.
like the third position. So like I got pretty good. um,
Yeah.
and but after that, my junior year, the tech was like, "Hey, if you want to continue, you need to drop tennis, basically."
Uh,
So
couldn't do that.
yeah. Rocco in chat saying vibraphone's better than marimba.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's wrong. But the thing is like,
I actually wrote a paper on Rambo once.
oh what?
Yeah, I was in like a 100 level college course because I was in liberal arts and had to like take something like that.
Okay.
Uh, and it was like a one-page paper on like four different instruments. Which one you thought was the best and why?
Beast, and it was marimba.
It was marimba.
Oh, let's go. Um. Oh no. But yeah, so like a couple of my favorite solos are like written in like one of them was in 7-Eleven, which was like funny because like 7-Eleven, but also the timing was just so much fun to play.
Oh yeah. Uh, Send that to me later. Actually, I wanna listen to it.
I got you.
Alright.
Um, but yeah, and then so after that, I ended up going or taking a private marimba study class in college, and so I picked it back up.
Nice. How are like in what ways do you think like the skills you gain from that, or maybe just like some of the lessons you've learned. How do you apply them in your adult life?
Uh, a lot of perseverance. I picked up on a lot of marimba like very quickly, but the things I didn't were very not quickly. Like it was either like I got it instantly or like it took me a long time to pick up. So it
Okay.
was really cool. Like one of the
Yeah.
my sophomore year, one of the portions was a 6 mallet portion, and I was like, how do I do that? I already have 4 mallets. Where do the other 2 go? So like learning the muscle memory for that was crazy, but it was a lot of fun to pick it up.
How do you do 6 mallets? Do you like have them between each like finger?
Yeah. Yeah. So essentially, it's a 4 mallet with a mallet in between. So it's like, oh no, I'm bad. So hand, right? So mallet 1 goes here, mallet 2 goes here, and then mallet 3
Okay.
goes here. So it's like this kinda, and then like you can do a lot of like 6 tuplets and like different iterations by rolling your wrist.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah.
Um, so 11 at the bottom of a time signature. So the 11th note gets the beat. So it's essentially going to be so the timing of the 11th note is actually just like an eighth plus triplet, a quarter note triplet. So it's essentially no, it's not. It's not like an 11th note, but it's an eighth note plus a quarter note triplet. Is basically what the time signature was. So like it's easier to write 7/11 than it is anything else.
Okay.
What do you
Yeah,
mean one, two,
Rocco's
three,
hype,
four?
bro.
What do you mean? No, that's so boring. But yeah. We are out of time for that section. Do you have any more questions about that?
Um, no, I could probably ask you like 1,000 questions about how marimba works, but we're good on that.
Cool. Yeah. That'll be something we can open up. I actually love marimba. It
Yeah.
is so sick. But
Yeah. Sounds so nice.
okay. So we have one more section left. It is the Dalbull Moore section. What matchup do you want to play?
I'll tell you what. How about I give you 2 characters for me to play that you pick from, and then you give me 2 of your characters and I pick which one.
Okay.
Uh, I'll bring Marth and Falcon.
Marth Falcon? Okay. Um, I'll pick Marth and Falcon.
Oh.
uh, so I have to pick between those two. Go Falcon.
Okay, you, Rocco. Which one do I pick? Rocco, do I make him play Marth or Falco?
Rocco,
Falcon.
I actually hate that sentence. I know, like, you're a mod. Can you unmod that? Like, can you take that out,
Falcon.
please?
All right, it's a Falcon ditto.
Let's get it.
I did lock Beach, so we're gonna have to reset
Okay,
the game.
okay. I think 4 mallet is just, like, standard. Like, that shouldn't be something... I don't know. But fine, whatever. It was middle school. I'm not going to dwell on that. Fine. So, you are currently working at a vape and CBD shop. How did you end
Yeah.
up there?
Um, it's actually where I buy my vapes.
Oh, shit. Okay, sick.
Yeah. I saw they were hiring. They give me a lot of flexibility, and I can do a lot of work there. Like, all of the questions I've ever written, the million more, have been written in that vape shop. And I'm like learning how to code. I'm taking like this free online course.
Oh, sick.
And like and like it gives me a pretty flexible schedule, so I can go to tournaments. Like if I, especially if I have enough like time to request it off, they're really good about letting me have them. But it just gives me a lot of opportunities to do other things,
Okay.
and I get free vapes now.
Beast. Oh, what if that was a move?
If only.
um. Yeah, I like free vape. Free vape is cool. Do you have a favorite vape, or like vape utensil? I don't know the word, but yeah.
Yeah, there's I think mods is like the devices for vapes.
Okay.
I used to have like a nice little Cali burn. It was just a nice little stick. You'd fill up the pod with juice. It was nice and simple. But like a lot of issues with uh, devices like that is they leak. So once that died on me, I just swapped to disposables. They're just easy. So
Okay.
I mostly use Mr. Fog now. Uh,
So I actually know that one. Um,
yeah,
so throwback to my previous like everyone is racist job, right?
yeah.
So the secretary was always like, "Hey, you're going out for lunch. Will you pick me up a Mr. Fogg?" um,
That's his thing.
I think it was a banana one.
Okay.
That sounds right. But yeah, so that's my introduction to Mr. Fogg. Um, but yeah,
Cool.
what is your favorite part of your job? And what's your least favorite part of your job?
Uh, my favorite part of my job is definitely how little work I do. Uh,
Sure, like it
I,
lets you do other things.
yeah, like we get probably, I think we probably average like 2, 3 customers an hour.
Oh,
So
that's good.
most of the time I am legitimately just sitting there. Um, but probably the least favorite part of my job is it's I'm the only employee there that isn't family of the owner.
Okay,
Um,
family owned.
so
That's
they,
sick.
yeah, um, it is sick, and they're genuinely nice people. They're just batshit insane.
Yeah,
Like
that's sick.
day one, my boss, uh, like he's the owner's son. Uh, he basically the whole shift was telling me about how the particle collider in Switzerland was being used to summon evil demons.
Oh, okay. No, that's sick.
So he's got a lot of that going on. Every couple of weeks we'll get like a shipment of gold or silver that he's ordered.
Okay. The
He
particle accelerator in Norway is Spalwilning demons from Latin.
it's I mean he goes, "You believe in God?" I'm
Oh
like,
my god.
not really. He's
That's
like,
right.
"You better get right with them. The world's going to end soon." Like, all right.
I think I love your boss.
Yeah, he's genuinely really nice though. Is the most fucked up part. He used to be like a software dev at Google.
Oh, okay. Sick.
He like all the apps we use for like the register and everything, because our register is just like an iPad. He like wrote it.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah.
And then the other brother that I work with is he's he's a recovering meth addict, which comes with its own problems. Like he's in a better place now, and he's also genuinely nice. But um, like last week, I came in and there was like a laptop and an iPad that were both locked that he was trying to get into. That like he got for free, and I just didn't want to ask him where he got them. But it's just stuff like that. They're just really strange people, which makes it really interesting, but it stresses me out.
That makes sense. Um, keeps it exciting, but just odd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like he wasn't always recovering while I worked there, um, but I'm super happy for him. He's come a long way.
Good. Fuck yeah. Joe Eisling said he worked with the same guy. I think he's probably talking about Demons Are Spawning Boy.
Yeah. Have you ever seen their logo? It's got 3 6s hidden in there.
This character is so fucking hard. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, right.
um, MPX said, "Did you also work with the dark sprite person? What does that mean?"
What does that mean?
Ooh. Do you see this as something that you want to do, like obviously not like necessarily at the same place, but do you see yourself working like in the smoke industry for your life? Is that like the career goal?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
Like,
fair. Yeah, what's the
yeah,
career?
I'm taking online coding classes right now, so hopefully there's a future in that. Because I think that's something I would enjoy. I like being on my computer. I don't mind kind of the nitty gritty of coding.
Sure.
Questions I've been asking.
Look, you like. I think like getting into the smoke game. That's a buddy of mine is doing that right now, and he loves it. He wants to do a career out of it, and like, there's
Yeah,
something to be had there, man.
like I've never been like the big mod guy who's putting all the coils, the cotton
Right. That's
coils,
like,
gabbing it up. Like
yeah,
that's just more effort that I want to put into it. I picked
sure.
up a jewel when I was 18 because my parents got divorced. That's it. That's as far as I
Holy
need to go.
shit. Yeah. So he actually like he asked me. He was like, "Yo, I have this crazy idea, but like." I don't have the engineering to do it, but like, do you know any engineers? Because I'm like, I want you to build the idea. I was like, dude, you are talking so fast right now.
I'm sure it was a great idea though.
It was a pretty. It was like basically a way to like shake out the something out of smoke thing.
Oh,
I wish I could tell you more, but I'm smoke illiterate.
that's all right.
Um,
I probably wouldn't have understood it if you knew it.
but yeah. So he's a good guy. I like him a lot. Um, but yeah. So you're taking computer classes, and what's the end goal there?
Yeah, it's a great question. I don't know exactly what I want to do with it yet. Um, there's a lot of paths you can go. I think I'm probably gonna learn HTML to start with, but I think the real goal with it is just to get comfortable with it, and then I can see where to go from there.
Sure, that makes sense. Kind of opens up the doors.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to. I'm like a little too early in it to restrict myself.
Sure. Uh, Speaking of the doors, music. I don't know if that counts as like a good segue because I don't even know if you like the doors. But
All right.
oh no, okay. I gotta go back to the lab one sec.
There was a, I think it was a Psych episode where like all the hints were like Doors lyrics.
Oh,
That,
nice. Ooh. But yeah, so music. What's your favorite album of all time?
ooh,
Or top three? Basically the Desert Island album, right? Like,
right. I need one for every mood then. So that actually makes it a lot easier. Having
yeah.
for for when I'm trying to go crazy on the island with like whatever
You're
like
going ape shit. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah like
Oh no, that's
I'm
how that
having a
one
good
ends.
night. God forgives I don't by Rick Ross is perfect for that. Uh,
Okay.
Rick Ross is an interesting one because
You just looked me in
I
the eyes
saw
and told me that you were gonna pick Rick Ross, but like let that sink in. But continue.
yeah, I would. I
That's
I
honestly better
started
than I would
listening.
pick. That's fine.
I started listening to Rick Ross kind of ironically. because I saw the cover for that album and I thought it was just a really funny name. God
Honestly,
forgives, I don't.
wait, that's actually
Um,
so hot.
yeah, I was like, that's fucking sick. I'm gonna listen to that. And I just ended up really liking it. Um, and now I have this bit where everyone knows I like Rick Ross. For sad album, I think, ooh, it's a really tight race between The Stranger by Billy Joel,
Okay.
uh, and then Jim Croce's hard because like he doesn't really have much of a discography. But like if you threw a greatest hits album in there, like I think that would also be a good a good one because he's got like I think Operator is one of my favorite songs of all time. It's just such a nice song. It sounds so pretty. Um, and then like a third album, it's gotta be a vibes album. So that's important if you're alone on
Oh
an island.
yeah, Alone on the Island, you need vibes. I feel like
Uh,
you'd go insane without vibes, right?
yeah, a guy like me, vibeless. Uh,
You can't fail your own vibe chart.
yeah, it's tough. Uh, I don't. That's tough. Maybe I'll just bring Ramona by Kill Bill the Rapper.
Kill Bill
All
the
the beats.
Rapper.
Yeah, right?
That's a name I've never heard.
You should
Uh,
listen to Ramona. It's very chill.
okay. I like chill vibes. Um,
He drops a melee bar in another one of his albums.
Beast. So I'm actually not super well versed in um different like I guess like he's not exactly rap or like he's more R&B, I guess. But have you ever listened to Thundercat?
Oh yeah, I love Thundercat.
Thundercat's so fucking sick, dude. I
It's so
think I would
nice with
like
the bass.
yeah. Like you said vibes and I was like, yo, Thundercat.
Yeah,
Like
actually, that
Thundercat
that would, that would be a good one.
might be
Yeah.
a vibes on the island. Um, but yeah, do you have a greatest album of all time? Not
Greatest
necessarily your
album.
favorite, but you think like is just banger after banger after banger, and like just musically so like perfect. And it could be one of the
Uh,
albums you've already mentioned.
I'm gonna be a white boy with the podcast, and it's To Pimp a Butterfly. It's just To Pimp a
Oh,
Butterfly. It just is. I'm sorry.
honestly, I don't blame you. I think To Pimp a Butterfly is such a fucking good album.
And
I
I didn't used to like it so much.
I do
Um,
think
okay.
Good Kid, Mad City's better, but I think in terms of GOAT album, it's probably To Pimp a Butterfly.
See, I used to have that opinion for a long time. I think part of that was I used to be like a playlist listener, not an album listener. So like the the intros and outros and all the songs really drove me crazy for a while. Um, but I went back to it a couple of years ago and I re-listened to it, and it just really made me feel in a way it hadn't before. So it just I think it's just a really well-made album. I think he's really good at expressing what he means to get out, and his message
Yeah,
is really solid.
he's a lyricist, like through and through, and
Yeah,
I think that's a big distinction between like an artist, or like I guess
right.
he's an artist too, but like he really is able to get across what he wants to. So I think
Yeah,
that's a
like
good
I
goat
love Rick
album.
Ross. I wouldn't call him an artist.
Sure.
Maybe a vibes artist.
That's real. um, okay. Do you have a melee playlist that you listen to when you're playing, like a specifically curated playlist?
I used to.
Okay.
I I just uh my music changes too much. I like I love making playlists. My Spotify account probably has 30 of them on there right now, and it's like my third Spotify. Uh, but like I just I make a new playlist and I let it run until it's had its course, and then I make a new one.
I like
I
that
don't really have
actually.
one specific to Melee anymore.
Okay.
It also helps me like kind of measure my life a bit. Like I have like my hip hop era, my Billy Joel era,
Sure. Yeah. It's like,
my
I
Heracross era.
like it helps you kind of like date things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. I looked over at chat and I got kneed in the fucking face. um, forgot this was happening. I gotta go watch the VOD. Hi, Austin. It's good to see you. Um, Austin asks, "What's your favorite Ping Pong the animation character?"
Whew. It's been a long time since I watched it. I like Smile. He's just a guy. He needs a hero.
I need a hero. Huh? What's so?
Yeah.
Spin-off question because of your answer. What's your favorite iteration of I need a hero in a movie?
It's actually in Saints Row 2. The final mission, you have to like go to the Statue of Liberty to save. I think I forget who it was exactly, but that plays on the car ride there.
Oh, I can't believe I. I can't believe I like you're answering and I just go oh. No, but I think that is like okay. I don't know if I've ever played Saints Row, which good segue alert. Uh, um, so you like video games? What are some
I
other
would love
video
to see.
games that you like?
Oh boy, how much time you got?
Approximately 7 minutes.
um, let's go in order of like my playtime.
Okay.
It's probably CS:GO. I have 2,000 hours in. Rest in peace. I played my first game of CS2 the other day. That was kind of sick. It looks nice.
Actually, just downloaded
But
that. I have no intention of
I,
playing it, but I downloaded it.
Howdy with the shotty.
That's right.
Uh, I think Hades is probably my favorite roguelike.
Okay.
I think the story in that is just really good, and the movement and the animations just feel really smooth, and that's important to me in a lot of games. The Yakuza series, I have a lot of love for. That's a game I shared with a lot of my college friends, and they got me into that. And we all talked about it, so that one's special to me for a few different reasons.
Sure.
One that I don't think a lot of people would know is Wander Song. It's on Game Pass if you ever want to play it.
Okay.
But it's like this really cute story about this bard who goes on a quest to save the world, and it deals a lot with mental health and stuff like that. It was a really pretty game that came to me at a tougher point in my life. So that's another one I really have a special place in my heart for.
Okay. I like that.
Game's just good.
Apparently, a lot of people agree with you. um, so Pallet's like, Pallet asked favorite god in Hades.
Favorite god. Like Aphrodite and Artemis are like the easy answers because they're the big damage ones. I personally really love the Athena Hades combo, or not Hades, Athena. What's his fucking name? Holy shit, I'm blanking hard. The war guy.
Mars.
Ares.
Yeah.
Ares
we
Athena has like a
we
really
we
interesting build
we
combo.
we roaming in this bitch. But yeah, okay. Admittedly, have Hades download, never played it.
I am a big fan of it. Like, the story's really interesting. Gameplay's so clean. Like, I can't overstate that. I think movement is probably the most important aspect of video games.
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
if
I
you
can
think
agree with that.
about like all your favorite games, I think 90% of them have super nice movement.
Yeah, but like whatever that means in the context of that game, like I can
Right.
agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, like obviously there's things like Slay the Spire where you don't really move.
Right, but it's like the game itself is like clean in a way that movement would be. Like if that makes
Right.
sense.
But like games that have stood the test of time, like Super Mario 64, really any Mario game just has tight movement. You got Melee, and look at us.
Yeah. my my Slay the Spire movement kind of nasty. um, MPX
I've
said
seen the way.
MPX popped off when you mentioned a Wander Song, so it sounds like there's another Wander Song fan.
It's a wonderful game. I was really hoping actually when they're still releasing Ultimate characters that Bard Wandersong would make it in because I thought that'd be a really cool idea. Because the way he works is like you just move your right stick in a wheel around you and like different like tunes play, like
Oh,
different
that's cool.
notes.
Yeah.
Like he sings. But when you get a sword, you move it around like that. So I thought it could do some interesting things in Ultimate.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Uh,
You know, had Mason into OSRS, he would have played so many other games.
yeah.
Real.
Honestly, OSRS has been a bane, but that's okay.
Other games, Deep Rock Galactic is a fun one.
Okay.
That's one you just go into caves and you got bugs trying to kill you, and you're a dwarf on an alien planet.
Beast.
So that one's fun. I think Isaac likes that. Sea Thief, Rocco's correct. That one's a vibes game.
So Sea of Thieves is essentially like a search around, but you're a pirate, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, you're on a pirate ship. You can have anywhere from 1 to 4 people on your crew. There's max five ships on a server, but like there's 70 islands on the map. It's honestly in setup. It's a, the Sea of Thieves is the Grand Line.
Oh. Wait, I think I need to play Sea of Thieves right now.
The first season I played, the Battle Pass, like level 100 or whatever the last one was, you get a straw hat with the red band.
That's
You're
so
never gonna guess what I'm wearing
sick.
right now.
Oh fuck. Oh no.
Yeah, it really is like the closest thing we have to a One Piece game in the grand scheme of things. Not that that's why I played it. I played it before One Piece. That game's really nice because like you're just out on the sea. The sound design's kind of nice. You're just vibing.
So we have time for one more. We'll go ahead and yeah. I had more questions for you. I feel like this is weird. I feel like you and I always run out of questions, but for some reason I was like, yeah. What's your favorite anime? As another fellow anime guy.
Ooh, I think Haikyuu is up there.
Okay, Haikyuu's an amazing answer.
It was probably the one of the first ones that I was really into. It's also my answer for what anime I would recommend to someone who's never watched it before. Because that's actually how I got my dad into anime.
So immediately from Austin Lovell, who's your dad's favorite Haikyuu character?
Actually, I think he likes Oikawa.
Okawa, okay. So there was recently a Twitter poll from like a pretty big Twitter account, and Oikawa won as the biggest anime villain.
Yeah, that's like
what?
Crazy. Like,
What? No, they completely missed.
when I played sports, I was him.
No,
Like
yeah,
when
like
he's sitting on the sideline, like I hope they both lose.
right, yeah. It's like I want to be in there. No, that's so fucked.
Like that's real. I do hope they all lose.
But yeah. No, I think Oikawa's a very cool character.
Yeah. Um, barring that, I think he would. I think he probably likes the guy who gave the genius speech. I forget his name. He's the team with the twins. Um, but like, I think he would have. I haven't talked to him about it, but I think he would have really appreciated that speech, given like what he stands for.
What? Yeah. I think those are both really solid answers for favorite and like most. I would recommend this too.
Yeah. Um, other than that, like Your Lie in April is good. I know we've talked about that one. Um, let's see, Madoka Magica was a really good one. I didn't really expect that one to be as good as it
I
was.
agree with that so much, actually. I watched it and I was like, "Oh, it's probably not going to be that good," and then it just blew me away.
Yeah, right. I think I, I think I saw Toph rate it 10 stars, and that's what made me finally watch it. that's that's
Nice,
an
nice.
interesting little tidbit there.
So that, holy shit. Okay, so streaming for 2 hours is different,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
honestly, I had a lot of fun. So
yeah. Time to.
thank you for hanging out with Melee and more. This is the part of the show where our guest gets to pick a person to get a free weekly from us. How are we doing this? Do we both get to pick one person?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Yeah.
Why not?
So I'll pay for yours. You pay for mine. Let's knock that out. Yeah.
Nice.
Do you want to go? I guess I'll go first since that's like we've been doing like me you me you.
Cool.
Cool. Um. Shit. I didn't think about this at all.
Mm.
Actually.
Yeah, please.
um, let's see.
Indiana's
Uh.
best Luigi next week
I'm
for a
gonna
3
go.
hours special.
Yeah. No, never actually. If we get a Luigi on here ever, they get 20 minutes tops.
Yeah, once a million more subathon.
Oh. we band together and pay for Rocco's Fortland. I'm gonna go with. Fuck, dude. All right, all right.
I can go first if you need time.
I'm gonna go Dab Milk.
Okay, that's a good one.
He keeps saying he's gonna like enter things or go places, and to be
Mm.
fair, he just had a kid, but
Well, you should be used to
but
that by now.
but he has time. But he has time. So I'm gonna pay for Will's entry to something. Or yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Uh, I'm gonna pick Jonathan Pico the Wanderer. Um, I think they are one of Indiana's strongest soldiers right now. They're at Purdue every week. They're at Crown every week. They go to the big tournaments. Shout out Jonathan.
I really like the opposite ideologies that we just had. Like it was
Yeah,
like I want Dad Milk to go to things. You were like Pika goes to everything.
yeah,
But also definitely shout out to John. Like they are fucking nasty.
yeah. Big fan. They're like a mentality shift away from being number one Indiana.
That's real. But yeah. Do you have any closing remarks?
Support your locals.
Support your locals. That's a good one. This has been Melee and More with Acid.
And Dalbull.
Thank you guys so much, and we will see you next time.